Welcome, bout betters. Not certain which plays are obvious on this card, and it seems like a parlay card. I'm not seeing any good reads, and I don't anticipate playing any of the chalky numbers. But I am interested in this bout between plus 130 Gabriel Benitez and minus 167 David Onama. Gabriel Benitez is a well-rounded fighter with a lot more UFC experience, as well as being a Combate Americas veteran. But the big thing I instantly notice are his 3 losses via KO or TKO against Andre Fili, Sadiq Youssef, and Billy Quarantino. David Onama did stellar in his loss, that good performance against Mason Jones, where he not only got up from Mason Jones 8 of 14 takedowns, but put Jones on his butt. Jones in that bout won that bout by a staggering 9 minutes control time, despite Onama landing 121 total strikes. He outstruck Mason Jones. Onama showed good counter jiu-jitsu, not being submitted by Jones. So we know he's prepared for Benitez's well-rounded attacks. Benitez can put it on the ground and strikes well. He's primarily a striker. Benitez is best known for the strong leg kicks and his toughness. His XR stats and metrics, all the stats here, I think are a little skewed, as Onama has only one fight in the UFC. But we do see that Benitez has not only knockout power, but also submission skills. Benitez is also a finisher, with 64% of his fights ending inside the distance. Benitez spends most of his time fighting at distance, and this will be challenging for him because Onama lands a ton of strikes from the outside. He likes to perform out there as well. Onama will have a reach and height advantage. And again, he's also younger than Benitez, but I don't think he is demonstrably quicker than Benitez. Gabriel is a good counter grappler, but his counter striking and defensive striking is not great. Mowgli is willing to stand and bang, and even Billy Quarantino knocked him down. Because like many Mexican fighters, he moves in and out in a forward line, just as David Onama does. David Onama, though, is more patient with his movement, and I think has a slight defensive striking advantage because Gabriel Benitez is extremely aggressive and wants to go first. Onama's has a little more ring generalship, is willing to wait, and I think his patience will give him an advantage defensively here. Mowgli's counter jiu-jitsu is solid here, but I don't think he'll need it, as David Onama is also willing to stand and bang. Benitez isn't really an offensive wrestler. He's a counter wrestler and counter grappler who can transition or reverse positions to get that submission. This would be problematic for Benitez, as Onama will not look to take this to the ground. He won't even look to get this in a clinch to allow Benitez to gain a ground position advantage. I anticipate this fight to stay on the feet. Benitez, like most Latino fighters, is super tough and aggressive, but he is a little reckless. Onama isn't incredibly polished either, but he showed great strength and toughness against Mason Jones. He primarily is a kickboxer, so I don't think he is as well-rounded as Gabriel Benitez. And if he does stun Gabriel Benitez with that one-hitter quarter that he has, Gabriel Benitez recovers so well, but his lack of striking defense opens him up to that power, and that's the problem for Benitez. Every time Onama tends to stalk him down and close that distance, Gabriel Benitez's chin is going to get exposed because the guy is somewhat of a punching bag, and that's why he is Joey's pick on this card. Joey knows that Benitez gets hit a lot. He feels that Benitez is a journeyman fighter in a gatekeeper role in this particular bout. Onama is bigger, stronger, and Joey feels that the UFC is tossing him a bone. He knocked down Jones and avoided his submission grappling, which is a huge feather in Onama's counter grappling cap, because Mason Jones can strike, and he is a great submission grappler. Joey thinks this is going to be a KO. I would have to agree, but I could see Benitez making this a close fight. Benitez's experience should allow him to time Onama's striking stalkingness because he pretty much just comes forward with very little lateral movement. He's a flat foot power striker who leads with his front leg, and should Mowgli choose to wrestle, Onama's legs are there for the taking. But this isn't Benitez's MO. Onama's striking defense is good enough to take ground from Benitez, to get on the inside and land that bomb. Unlike Joey, I think there is value in Benitez because of his grappling potential. Onama, yes, has good ring generalship, and I think he definitely, with his reach advantage, he will be the one to be more effective from the outside to easily out kickbox and outpoint Benitez if Benitez does not implement a grappling heavy game plan. My pick is Onama, but I would not rule out Benitez in this spot as he is more experienced and well-rounded. I'm not on a side yet, but would caution against the KO for Onama, as well as the not to go distance prop. If the over 1.5 is offered at plus money or even money, that may be worth the shot. I would also not parlay Onama despite a decent line. Will the line grow or will it shift towards Benitez? Is Benitez worth a flyer and have value? Let me know in the comments section. Please like and subscribe. And as always, if you've made it this far, you are about better.